Hey, it's Chris. Did you know that 97% of people never become wealthy, no matter how hard they work or how much they dream about it? What's even more shocking is that the reasons behind this failure are not what you might think. Today, I'm going to reveal the real reason why almost everyone fails to build wealth, and more importantly, how you can avoid being part of that statistic. Now, before we dive in, let me ask you a question. Have you ever felt stuck in the cycle of living paycheck to paycheck, despite trying everything you can think of to change your situation? If so, stick around, because the real reason behind this financial struggle might surprise you. Most people believe becoming rich depends entirely on external factors like a high-paying job, winning the lottery, or inheriting money. But the truth is far more surprising. It's actually internal factors, specifically your mindset and habits, that determine your financial future. Let's start by addressing the biggest hidden reason behind financial failure, a scarcity mindset. But what exactly is a scarcity mindset, and how could it possibly keep you from wealth? Well, a scarcity mindset is the belief that there's never enough money, opportunity, or resources to go around. People with this mindset live in constant fear of loss and tend to see wealth as a zero-sum game. You might think this mindset protects you, keeping you cautious and frugal, but here's the twist. It actually sabotages you. It causes you to miss opportunities and limits your ability to think creatively or invest in your future. Imagine always thinking money is running out. You'd naturally be hesitant to take the very risks necessary to build wealth. But how can you shift from scarcity to abundance? That's the question billionaires have figured out, and it's exactly what separates them from everyone else. An abundance mindset isn't about blindly thinking positively, it's about training your brain to see opportunities everywhere and genuinely believing resources are unlimited. This mindset shift alone opens doors you never even knew existed. Now, shifting your mindset is crucial, but it's not enough by itself. The second hidden reason behind financial failure involves habits. Specifically, the lack of financial discipline. Here's where it gets interesting. Most people assume discipline means extreme budgeting and never enjoying life. But billionaires know discipline is something entirely different. Financial discipline isn't about deprivation. It's about prioritizing future freedom over short-term pleasures. It's about consistently making decisions today that your future self will thank you for. For example, Warren Buffett famously still lives in a modest home he bought decades ago. Not because he can't afford luxury, but because he prioritizes long-term investments over temporary pleasures. You might ask, how do I build this kind of discipline without feeling miserable? Well, the key is to make your discipline automatic. Instead of constantly relying on willpower, create systems that naturally guide you towards smarter financial choices. Automate savings, set investment rules, and limit impulsive spending by adjusting your environment. Soon enough, these disciplined choices become effortless. Now, there's another critical mistake almost everyone makes, and it's directly linked to your ability to grow wealth. Most people spend money as soon as they earn it, trapping themselves in a never-ending cycle of earning and spending. But here's something billionaires understand deeply. Money spent today is worth far less than money invested for tomorrow. Think about it. Every dollar you invest today has the potential to grow exponentially over time. This is called compounding, and it's the single most powerful tool for building wealth. Albert Einstein reportedly called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world, and yet most people never harness its power. Why? Because delayed gratification is hard. It's tempting to spend money now for immediate satisfaction rather than invest for future gain. But billionaires consistently choose to invest first and spend later, knowing their patience today creates enormous wealth tomorrow. Imagine investing consistently over years or decades. Your money would eventually work for you, even while you sleep. But there's something even more fascinating behind wealth building that almost no one talks about. It's the subtle psychological traps people unknowingly fall into that keep them stuck financially. These mental traps are so sneaky that most people never realize they're caught until it's too late. So, what are these psychological traps and how can you recognize and escape them? Stay with me, because in just a moment, I'm going to expose exactly what these traps are and how you can completely transform your financial trajectory by avoiding them. Trust me, you won't want to miss this. One of the most powerful psychological traps keeping people from wealth is something psychologists call status quo bias. Simply put, this is your brain's natural tendency to prefer things to stay the way they are, even if your current situation isn't ideal. Ever wonder why so many people stay in jobs they dislike or financial habits they know aren't helping? Status quo bias is the hidden reason behind it. But here's the twist. Your mind isn't doing this to sabotage you intentionally. It's trying to keep you safe by avoiding change and uncertainty. Billionaires understand this psychological trap well, and they've learned how to turn it around. They consciously break away from comfort zones and constantly challenge their assumptions about money, risk, and opportunities. Think about Richard Branson. He didn't build his empire by sticking to the status quo. Instead, he repeatedly stepped outside his comfort zone, launching ventures everyone else thought were crazy. By consciously defying this bias, billionaires position themselves to capture opportunities that most people overlook or dismiss. So how can you start breaking free from your own status quo bias? Begin by questioning every financial decision that feels comfortable or familiar. Ask yourself, am I choosing this because it's truly the best decision, or simply because it feels safe? Challenge your comfort zone regularly by exploring new opportunities, investments, or ideas, even if they feel uncomfortable at first. Now, there's another subtle psychological trap that's arguably even more dangerous, the trap of social conformity. Ever notice how people around you often influence your financial decisions? Whether it's buying expensive things to impress others or making financial choices based solely on what friends or family think, social conformity silently drains your potential for wealth. Billionaires understand something crucial. You won't achieve extraordinary results by following the crowd. Consider Steve Jobs, who famously said that innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower. Jobs intentionally made decisions contrary to popular opinion, leading Apple to groundbreaking success. Billionaires consistently resist societal pressures to conform, enabling them to make independent strategic choices. But how exactly can you overcome social conformity in your own life? Start by recognizing when you're making decisions based on external pressures rather than your own clear goals. Next, surround yourself intentionally with people who share your financial ambitions and encourage independent thinking. Your network can either lift you toward wealth or anchor you firmly in financial mediocrity. Choose wisely. But there's still one final psychological trap holding back countless people from wealth. This trap is arguably the most subtle yet devastating of them all. It's called loss aversion. Simply put, loss aversion is your mind's tendency to fear losses more intensely than it values gains. This makes people overly cautious, preventing them from taking smart risks necessary for wealth accumulation. Think about investing. Many people avoid investing entirely because they're afraid of losing money. But billionaires know a crucial secret. Calculated risk is essential. Elon Musk didn't build Tesla and SpaceX by avoiding risks. He carefully weighed potential losses against monumental gains and understood that occasional setbacks were simply part of the process. How can you manage loss aversion effectively? First, reframe how you view risk entirely. Instead of asking, "What if I lose?" ask yourself, "What if this succeeds?" Or, "What's the worst that can realistically happen, and can I handle it?" By logically addressing these fears, you'll significantly reduce the emotional power loss aversion holds over you. Ultimately, the real reason 97% of people fail to become rich isn't due to bad luck, lack of opportunity, or external circumstances. It's due to mindset traps like scarcity thinking, status quo bias, social conformity, and loss aversion. Recognizing and actively combating these internal barriers is your ticket out of financial mediocrity and onto the path of real wealth. Remember, the journey to wealth isn't about being perfect. It's about consistently making better decisions today than you did yesterday. Now that you know the hidden reasons behind financial failure, you're equipped to avoid these traps and start building genuine, lasting wealth. Here's a final challenge for you. Which of these mindset traps do you recognize most in yourself? And more importantly, what will you do today to overcome it? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your insights. Keep pushing forward, stay focused, and I'll catch you in the next one.